What's up, guys? This is the Board Game Roamer, and I am here with a playthrough of Arkham Horror. This is the third edition. This is a recent release, and I am super excited about this. So, the cool thing about this is, and I think I mentioned this in the unboxing, I never played this or Eldritch Horror. That actually played it. I watched them both played, and I was intrigued by both of them, certainly. I have Elder Sign, which was okay, but I was always intrigued by both of them. I probably leaned more towards Eldritch Horror, but I was able to get a hold of this, and I've started playing it. And I gotta tell you, I've been really, really impressed with this so far. Now, granted, I can't have a fair comparison with previous versions or Eldritch Horror as far as having actually physically played it, but I really, really like what's going on with this so far. So I am playing the Approach of Azathoth, which is the suggested first one, and I know there's a number of videos on the internet for this already. But this is my first time playing it, so that's what I went with. And I hope to do the other scenarios later on down the road. What I'm going to do with this, I think, is I'm just going to basically start playing it, and I'm going to play it for as long as I can. So I don't know that I'll necessarily finish it all in one sitting, but I'm going to get as much of it done as I can. And we'll see what happens. I feel like I've got a decent handle on the rules. I have tried this scenario once. I did not finish it because what I tried to do, what I've told myself I'm going to do, at least up to this point, is that the original investigators that I start with, in this case I'm starting with 3, I'm going to attempt to finish the scenario with those same 3 investigators. That probably makes it really, really, really hard for me, but that's what I'm going to do. I've already set up the board. You can see here, kind of over to the side, the bottom row, but I actually have all the cards set out here for the event decks and for the item deck, allies, spells, monsters, etc., etc. I picked the heroes. I'll tell you about those here in just a second and what I picked with them. The display's already set. The Doom card's already drawn. I've got me reference here for myself because, like I said, I haven't played this enough to really just automatically remember all the rules. Codex is over here. All of our tokens are over here. Set up the board. I've placed our investigators over here. So one of the only things that I am going to change for this is obviously if the investigators are up like that, that's not really going to help you. You're going to really be able to see what's going on. So I'm going to leave them laid down. Now normally this would indicate that they're delayed, but that's not what that's going to indicate. So what I'm going to do, I think, is place a token, we'll say the dollar, one of these dollar markers on top of them if they're delayed, just so you guys can see it. But other than that, everything else is going to be like it should be. I'm going to use the dice that came with the game because that shows up the best on camera. And I think that's pretty much it. So let me show you our investigators first, and then I'll show you who we picked and tell you what items they start with. So Tommy Malone is the first one. The rookie cop, his ability. So each investigator, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the rules because there's many rules videos out there, even for 3rd edition. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on that, but I will talk through some of it. So if you need an actual rules video, there are other videos out there for that. This is just going to be a playthrough as best as I can, although you know me, I'll talk through a lot of the stuff that I do. So Tommy Muldoon, the rookie cop. Shield from harm. If a monster would engage another investigator in your space, you may engage that monster instead. So basically, he can kind of off-tank these monsters. His focus limit is 2, 7 health, 5 sanity. His stats are 2 lore, 2 influence, 3 observation, 3 strength, 3 will. So, not really bad. Pretty decent stats. The lore and influence are kind of low, but the rest are okay. And the 2 items, he starts with $2. And we don't have a leader, so he's got his little token that will flip for when he goes. He has a motorcycle, which allows him to move 3 spaces on a move action instead of the normal 2, and then he can spend $1 to move the 4th space. And then he has Becky, which is a weapon. It's a 2-handed weapon, but he gets +4 strength as part of an attack action. So really, really strong against monsters, which is good. So that's Tommy Muldoon. The next person we have is Mintai Pan. Her ability is all around you. Once per round while resolving a test, you or another investigator in your space may reroll dice up to the number of clues in your neighborhood. She has a focus limit of 2, 6 health, 6 sanity, so she's kind of balanced in that aspect. And then 3 lore, 3 influence, 3 observation, and then 2 in strength and will. So that's her. Like I said, she starts with $3. And items wise, analytical mind, you roll 1 additional die while resolving lore or observation tests if you're at or above your focus limit. And then King in Yellow is an item. And once per round, after you suffer 1 or more horror, you may research 1 clue. And then finally, we have Rex Murphy. He starts the game with $3. And he is the reporter. His ability is called Family Curse. While resolving a test, only 6s count success. Only 6s count as successes. You cannot become blessed or cursed. Never Give Up is his second ability. After you fail a test, you focus 1 skill of your choice. Now, the cool thing with Rex is he has an unlimited focus limit, so he could actually focus everything. Although the 6s are going to kind of be painful. And then he gets, he's got 3 cards here, 1 item and 2 talents. His first item is the Tower. Once per round, while resolving a test, you may reroll 1 or all of your dice. So this will help with the whole 6s issue. Talent, it all comes together as part of a research action. Add 1 to the result of each die you roll. So he's really good at research, which is awesome. And search for the truth. After you gain a clue, you gain $1, and you may focus 1 skill of your choice. So he should have plenty of ways to get those focus tokens, to use them for rerolls, since 6s are the only thing that count. But he can't become cursed. Of course, he can't become blessed, but c'est la vie. So you're probably looking at that going, like, at least 2 of the 3 people that I chose have abilities that you have to be in their location. And at least in my previous attempt at this, in order to keep the doom from spreading too much across the land of Arkham, I didn't really keep them together. These were draws, blind draws. I shuffled and picked the first Mystic and the first Guardian, because that's what it said. It suggested at least 1 of each of those, and then randomly selected the 3rd person. So there you go. As far as what's in the display, I'll show you that right quick. We have a bulletproof vest. It's an item. It can take 4 health hits. That's cool. Once per round, if 2 or more damage would be dealt to this card, prevent 1 of that damage. We definitely probably need to be giving that to, I don't know, probably Tommy. Tattered Cloak, and that's $4. Tattered Cloak, that's $5. Oof. Non-epic monsters ignore you while activating and do not engage you unless you attack or damage them. So it's a good way to keep them off your back. That's $5. $2 first aid kit. As an action, an investigator ally in your space may recover 1 health, and that includes yourself. So that could be very useful. For $1, we get painkillers. Ignore the path. The pain isn't what's going to kill you yet. So basically, this doesn't really have a special ability, but it will soak up 2 health damage-wise. So that is cool. Let's see, let's put it right there like that. And finally, the 38 revolver. It's an item, one-handed, common weapon, and you get +2 as part of an attack action. So that is the display. And so what I'm going to do, if a investigator is engaged with a monster, I'm going to try to put them like on the side here and leave the bottom for their abilities. And at some point in time, you may not be able to see these down here, but I'm going to tell you what they are when they come up, so hopefully you'll know. This is the Mythos Cup. There's, well, you can't really see it, but there's all of the Mythos tokens. I've already created it based on the scenario, so that's good to go. We have all of our money, focus, sanity, health tokens over there. The card is over here, and as I said, we're doing this, the approach of Azathoth. The story so far: as the center of infinity, at the center of infinity slumbers Azathoth, lulled to sleep by the ceaseless piping of accursed flutes. Yet some mortals would seek to draw the infinite power and calamity of the blind idiot god to them, and thereby doom all of humanity. So we start on the train space, which is right up here. I have everybody there already. As part of the setup, we start with 2 Codex cards. And the first Codex card is called Anomalies. It's card number 2. It says, people walk with their heads down, shoulders hunched. With each new oddity, it becomes harder to pretend that nothing is wrong. But the vanishings, the strange lights, the sightings of inhuman creatures, they are not something that can be ignored. At least, not for long. So, this down here, to sum it up for you, if we ever get a total of 5 doom in a neighborhood, which means on one of these spaces total, or any one space on any one of these locations has 3 doom, then it triggers this effect down here, and that effect is if you would resolve an encounter with an anomaly, you place an anomaly at the location, place that doom on the scenario sheet instead, so it would go over here. And then essentially what that does is, any future doom is going to go onto the scenario sheet, which I don't know what that does yet, but it does something. But you resolve anomaly, you resolve events from this deck instead of the normal encounter deck, and these are all really not good, and those anomalies don't go away till the doom is completely cleared off of your location, so you gotta kind of clean that up. And that stays there. I don't see anything that says like flip this card. Unlike this number 3 card, which says Deja Vu. The day dawns in the color of hammered lead, with a stillness and chill that settles over the gabled roofs of Arkham and lingers. As you go through your morning routine, you cannot shake the feeling of having done it before. The same breakfast, the same headlines in the newspaper, warning of disappearances and odd goings on. And a note in your handwriting reading, "The Damon Sultan approaches. Meet at the train station." And it says, if there are 3 or more clues on the scenario sheet, add card 4 to the Codex. And this does not remove, it stays in play. And then this says, when there are 3 or more doom on the scenario sheet, flip this card. So this anomaly card is what's going to drive those doom, and then this deja vu card will be flipped and something else will happen. I don't know what that will be, but it will happen. So I think that's all the bookkeeping stuff. Currently, the unstable location is Hibbs Roadhouse over here, based on this card. And is that all? I think that's all. Yeah. Okay, I guess let's get started. Well, so the first thing that I'm thinking is that I really need to get somebody that can do some serious clue finding over here, because there's 2 of them over there. So I'm going to look at these rogue figures because these were initially placed. Patrol, move toward unstable space, engage the highest influence. So they're going to move towards this location, unfortunately, and engage somebody with the highest influence. So what I'm thinking is to kind of forestall that I'm going to move Tommy Muldoon. We're going to activate him, so I'm going to take his token, I'm going to flip it over here. You can't really see that well. Put it right there. I'm going to flip that over, and Tommy is going to move his 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3. And because he moved into the space with this monster, he immediately engages it. We'll flip it over. Rogue figure only needs 1 health, and observation and strength are both -0. So no penalty for evading or fighting it, and that attaches to him. And if it does damage to us, it's just 1 health. So that's 1 action for him. So I think his second action will probably just be to kill it. Because once you're engaged, you're limited in what things you can do. You can, if you're engaged with a monster, the only thing that you can do is focus, attack, or evade. So we're just going to go ahead and attack. So to attack, we use our strength. So he gets 3 dice for strength. So there's those 3. And then he's going to get 4 more if he uses both hands, which there's no reason he wouldn't to, and uses Becky. So actually we'll roll all these and then roll 1 of these again. Yep. And we're looking for 5s or 6s. And we just need 1. Alright. Well, we could roll it 1 more time, but there's the 1 success we needed. So he defeats this monster, and that goes out of the game. He is done. Or out of the game, back to the monster deck. So he's done. Men. Men is going to, I think Men is going to move 2, and she's going to go ahead and focus. I think she's going to focus lore. I think that's what I want her to do, is focus lore. So I'm going to find me a lore token over here in this sea of tokens. She focused lore or observation. We'll just say she focuses lore for now. Use this term marking. Okay, so that's move and focus. So she's done. And then Rex Murphy goes next. He's the researcher, so he's going to move 1, 2. I'm going to go ahead and pay the $2 to move 2 additional spaces to here. So I wanted to get over there as soon as possible. And that's 2 actions for everybody. The monster phase happens. We don't have anybody engaged because he got rid of the other monster, so the rogue figure goes. And it says patrol, move toward the unstable space, engage with highest influence. So he has to move. My understanding is that means he's got to move 1 space closer when he does move. And in that direction, he would engage whoever has the highest influence. So he's going to go 1, 2. So I couldn't get to anybody particular anyway. So that's the monster phase. Encounter. Alright, so you can do the encounters in any order, and really we could activate anybody in any order we want to. There is no party leader since I'm just playing it by myself. So I'm just going to activate as far as that goes from left to right, just to be consistent. So we're going to look at Tommy. Tommy is downtown. So we're going to draw the downtown card. And the location he is in Independence Square. You follow the sounds of music and children laughing to the bandstand, but no one is there. Will. Check. That's 3 dice. And I'm going to try to, as best I can, not read these choices, the effects of the choices, because normally you'd have somebody else draw it and you make a decision so you don't know what it is. Just to make it a little bit more dynamic. So, oh, wow. And I'm going to choose, well, I don't have any tokens to use, so it doesn't matter, so I failed that. If you pass, something happens. If you fail, you find only a small, rusty toy corner, any type you played with a child. Of the type you played with as a child, you suffer 1 horror. Great. I kind of wish that was men. So he suffers a horror. And he doesn't have any weapon or item or anything that's going to change that. So 1 horror damage. This is starting out lovely. Okay. Min next. She is in the Merchant District in the Unvisited Isle. So we'll draw that. Unvisited Isle. Your flashlight picks out faded carvings on one of the tall standing stones. Check lore. So her lore is 3 plus the token is 4. So 4 and oh wow, it's 3 successes. Where were some of those for Muldoon? So we're definitely successful. If you pass, you sense residual arcane energy from some foul ritual. You gain 1 remnant. Cool. So she gains 1 remnant. Awesome. Wish there was a clue there, but it is what it is. And lastly, Rex Murphy is going to draw a street encounter. That is a lamp space, residential space. Joey Vigil's sharp whistle catches your attention from a nearby alley. I know you need a little help and can't afford to ask too many questions. He says, so I got a special deal for you. You may buy 1 common item from the display for half price. You know what really stinks? He's only got $1. Gosh. So just because it's half price, I might as well go ahead and buy it. I'm going to spend the $1 to buy this $2 first aid kit. And this is going to go back to the bottom. And whenever we sell or buy something, we immediately refill it. The refill is an item, a curio tome. You get +3, +3 lore while casting a spell. Not too shabby. $4 though. Alright, so that means everybody has gone. That is the encounter phase complete. Now for the mythos phase. Oh gosh, this is where things get worse. Give it a good shake. Draw out 2. The first is the Reckoning. Put them right there beside it. The second one is a monster for him. So the Reckoning, it says, for each cultist monster, place 1 doom in its space. This is a cultist monster, the rogue figure. So 1 doom goes there. It's not good. And then the monster, we draw a new monster. We get the Hooded Stalker. It says spawn at the most doom. There's multiple places. Move toward and engage the lowest strength. I think so. We'd have the option to put him here if we wanted to, but I kind of want him to take that rogue figure. So we're just going to put him over here for now, I think. All right. And as far as the Reckoning, I was going to do these in the order they came out too, by the way. The Reckoning, yeah. So the Reckoning, we did that, and then we do the monster. Okay. So those are done. I'm just going to set those, yes, maybe right there. When they're done, when they're completed, then we're going to reach into the bag here and draw 2 more. Oh man. Okay, headline for men. And gate burst. Okay. Guess we're just going to get some bad ones out of the way right to begin with. First one, headline. So here's the headline deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, just want to make sure I counted right. So we've got 13 headline cards. Astronomers chuffed as stars align. Headline rumor. Add this card to the Codex and discard all other rumor headlines. Well, we don't have any, so this will stay out there. As a reckoning effect, each investigator test will. Each investigator who fails places 1 doom in their space. Then any investigator may spend 1 clue to discard this card. That's lovely. All right, so that's the headline. Then we have a gate burst. A gate burst. Oh, so fun. Make sure I do this gate burst correctly. So with a gate burst, we pull the top card of the event deck, which is downtown. And we put a doom in every one of the neighborhood spaces. So that's going to be 1, 1, and 1. Yep. And then we take this card and everything that's in the discard pile to this point, and we shuffle them. I'm not looking. 3, 2, 1, 0, stop. All right. And we place them on the bottom of the deck, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yeah, bottom of the event deck. Now, one of the things that I'm not sure about is when I do that, based on these rules, there's nothing that says flip another card out so that you have a unstable location. And I have not been able to find that anywhere here. So this is the rule book, right? So you have a unstable space. Okay, never mind. Here it is. If there are no cards in the event space, discard pile. The starting space is the unstable space. I don't know why I didn't find that earlier. I was actually looking at that the last time I played, and I just didn't see it. So technically, now the unstable space is the train stop, which is where we started. So that takes care of them. And finally, Rex gets, oh my gosh, seriously, a monster. And a Doom. Okay. Again, we'll do them in the order. Monster first. The Abyssal Servant. Spawn at street nearest prey. Move toward and engage the investigator with the most clues. Okay, so that's anybody. Well, that's nobody. Which means, I guess, technically everybody's equal. So I would say, to be fair, it's maybe making it harder on me, it would go here with Rex. So he's going to engage this. That is a 4. Oh, this is the worst one to pick, too. 4 health, 1 strength. -1 strength to fight, -2 observation to evade. Wow. If you kill it, you get a remnant. That has 4 health. And when it fires, it does 1 physical and 2 sanity damage. Jeez. Okay, so that takes care of that. And then we have a Doom. So for the Doom, we pull a back card, and we flip it over, and we look at it, and wherever the Doom icon is where we add a Doom token, and it is Hibbs Roadhouse. So there's that. Wow. Now we've got all sorts of issues. Okay, so that's the Mythos phase. So that's the end of that. Put that right there. So we'll activate, flip all these markers over.